Okay, we are live. Good evening. Happy Friday, everyone. Ah, man, it's been a beautiful day, a great day, a long day. But, here we are at the end of the day, and we always like to bring some good old value and some good people into your life to end your day with some positivity. And this evening, I have my friend Victoria. She's joining us. So, hello. Happy Friday. Welcome.
Friday. Happy Friday.
Thank you.
It has been such a pleasure to get to know you. And it's funny because we met through Ken Walls's Grow Live Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And you shared a story with us yesterday. And it's amazing to see how vibrant you are and to learn a little bit more about you each and every day. So I'm happy to connect with you. You're amazing.
Thank you. Well, they are always tell us that we see in others what is in ourselves. So I'm also a reflection of what you are. So I'm going to give that back to you for you to honor yourself and take that compliment of how beautiful, what a beautiful soul you are too. And wonderful. We were just talking before we hopped on in our mastermind, Victoria. She asks some amazing questions and very philosophical, very deep, and very, they make you really go in and think about it. And some of the guests that have been on there, Victoria, was it the guy with the Guinness Book of Records for the memory? Which one was it that he said that you were like, that was like the best question ever? I forget now because you asked so many good ones. Do you remember which guest that was?
That was Ron White.
Ron White.
Not the one with the whiskey. The other one. The one with the memory.
With the memory. Yeah, okay.
Ron White. Yeah, that was Ron White. He was great.
Yeah.
He was really, I wish I could remember a room full of people's names,
Yeah.
No, but yeah. I find that asking questions or just staying in a natural state of curiosity about people in general is a good place to always be.
Mm-hmm.
When we learn something about someone, something that is intimate, something that is unique and special to that specific person, it helps remember who that person is. It's funny. I believe Maya Angelou said at one point something to the effect of, because I'm not good at remembering exact quotes, but you don't necessarily remember what someone does or says, but you do remember how they make you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And
how true is that?
Massive. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a excellent reminder, because feeling is everything, right? And how we impact people. I think that's a lost art that we have gotten away from, because we get so busy and we're so busy ready to answer that next question or that response from the person that we really forget, the impact of just being in the present moment, being in tune, being in alignment with that person's soul. And when, you're having that conversation with them, to really hear them and to see them, because that's what the whole purpose of relationships is all about, and making that connection and getting to know a person and what makes them tick and what makes them, what drives them every day. But how you make them feel is one of the key points. So I really thank you for that reminder, because I have a book of her quotes, and that's in there. So I'm gonna get that out just to have a reminder, just some quick reminders, because she's always has been a powerful force as well with some of her
she's one of my all-time favorites.
Is she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's fabulous.
Yeah.
In fact, when you hear her read or speak, it gives me goosies. Personally, I don't know, but she's really, really good.
Yeah. So what drives you? Like, what is your motivation? What is your, tell us a little bit about you, because you are a fascinating young woman and are doing really, really super wonderful things. So let everyone just feel you tonight.
Hear you.
And hear
Patricia, that is one thing that I honestly can admit that I have an issue with, and that's just being vulnerable. And maybe it's just, the way I was raised or, the environment that I was in, but it's really hard to do that sometimes. But for you, I'll make an exception tonight. So if you catch me being very vague, go ahead and ask me the question and crack my shell open a little bit more. I give you the permission to do that.
Be careful what you wish for, because I'm really good at that.
I'm going to keep the book open just for you, Paul. This is exclusively for you. So a little bit about myself. My name is Victoria Stopenall. Born and raised in Louisiana, 28 years old. I have a 9-year-old son who is my absolute world. I have 2 German Shepherds and a Husky. I am trying to train them all how to smile when I say smile.
I love it.
Yeah.
How's that working?
They're actually smarter than most people. They're catching on quick. It's just getting them to do it all at once. That's the challenge. But we're getting there. We're working on it. We also have a green sheet conure. So basically I have a zoo. Not by choice, but that's okay. It's part of the family. It's great. And let's see, I own a business called LeadShare. We do digital media and marketing.
Okay.
I am also a huge advocate for Master Networks. It's a networking organization. I am the area director for the Gulf Coast region here. So that is something that I am 100% an advocate and love with. Mm-hmm. So I think that's about it. I'm big on family. Family's number 1. Business is number 2. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So go ahead.
That's awesome. So I want to go back. I'm still on the smiling dogs.
Uh-huh.
So are you chronicling this and making sure that you have like a video of this process or a journal of this process? Because I would think that would be something that would be that you could teach on because you're so talented, and that would be in a very interesting little niche right there. So are you taking I know you're a photographer and you like that as well. So are you capturing these moments? Because I'm sure the outtakes could quite possibly
be really great.
Really good.
That's a great idea. I should document everything at all points in time. But it's so funny. I'm a great photographer in capturing other people's moments.
Uh-huh.
But when it's time to capture my own moments, it's kind of like, oh, okay. No, but that's a great idea. In fact, so the goal of it is how intimidating would it be if this little tiny 90-pound girl is walking down the street with these big giant dogs, and you just say smile, and they all just show their teeth. I mean, there's just a factor of extreme coolness at that point. So I should take pictures. Hey, Ken.
Ken is driving. We just wanted Ken to make sure that he knew that 2 Dynamos are on the Facebook Live to bring some love, peace, and happiness to the world this Friday evening. And Victoria never disappoints. She is in the process of teaching dogs to smile and has not really taken a proactive approach to chronicle that. So I am going to challenge you to at least have something to give us. Because that is going to be like, that's going to be good. You've got to do it. Even if you just a tidbit to have for the master. Maybe it's just exclusive for the mastermind people, and that'd be yet another incentive to
good video
the mastermind. Right?
Absolutely. I'm going to work on it. We're going to do little videos of my dog smiling.
Is your son helping you with this process? When did you start this process? Let's go back there. When did you start that?
So my oldest is Sandy. She's 2. Stella is about 15 months now. She's my second. And then Kaya is about 10 months. She's the Husky. So we've probably been working on this since, I would say, the last 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Now every other command they've picked up within 5 tries. And I mean like clockwork. They're really, really smart. But I don't think they understand the concept of smiling. Which is okay. Meanwhile, I have Rico, the green cheek conure, who I think he's smiling. He's either smiling or warning me that he's willing to bite. It's not the dogs you have to worry about, it's the bird. So
oh my God.
Yeah, again, it's a zoo. But it's a good zoo. And speaking of Cole, he is the reason why we have all of the pets. And it's funny how that works. Like, Mom, we need to get this pet because I'm going to take care of it. And it's going to teach me responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are you trying to convince, me or you?
Mm-hmm.
And usually it lasts for, a few days, maybe a few weeks if you're lucky. And then, whatever. The animals like me better, so I don't mind, I guess.
You know what? I love discovering the many facets of Victoria.
Well, thank you.
Yes, yes, and I think there's more that we probably haven't uncovered yet. So I'm excited to go on that journey with you. So that's good. But the thing that's fascinating is like not one, not two, but 3 dogs. Like you're the smiling female version of Caesar Milan.
Yeah. What's great about that is I'm a Leo. I may have a bit of an ego. I should walk around with a crown just because it fits my personality. But I have 3 female dogs and they bow to me, which makes me feel the need to wear a crown that much more. Nobody else bows, right? They're amazing creatures. They get it. They just get it. But yeah, no, I love animals. I actually have the biggest soft spot for kids and animals.
Yeah.
So 3 is probably not enough. If I had the space, I would have 100 dogs.
Yeah, I agree with you. One of my dreams is to be able to own a property where, you look out on the land, it's just rolling hills and it's just animals out there enjoying life. And you just get to experience that with them. And then when they see you, they run to you. They're like, yes, this is so amazing. I just love that. I love animals too. And I had a toy poodle.
Did you?
I did for 17 years. And he was a very spiritual little dog. He was very, he didn't really have a whole lot to do with he was very, he kept to his circle was really just me.
Yeah.
But he was a smart dog. He was a brilliant dog. And he was with me through like everything. And literally like he knew me so well, if you had a headache, he'd come and put his paw on my head. It was devastating when he passed. And
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
It's horrible. Mm-hmm. And I understand that's a cycle of life but there was for him to stay, he would have been suffering. So I had to, let him go. And that was a whole process. And so, I did, it may sound a little corny to some people, but, I made a promise to him and said, whenever you, cross that rainbow bridge and you see another animal that needs the love, care, and that you received, let it show up. And nothing showed up yet. So it's okay.
Just wait on it.
Yeah. But hearing you talk about the 3 smiling, I'm going to encourage you to continue to do that. And I'm going to be part of that process. So that's what's showing up right now is the Victoria's 3 smiling pooches.
It'll be great. It's going to happen. I think, what it is about animals? It's their pure innocence, and they're just there's no, hey, I want this. Excuse me, can you do this to me before I can give you love or show you love? It's just given without any expectation.
Right.
Anything. Like it's so hard.
Yeah.
Beautiful with animals. I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we're not talking about Rico, obviously, because again, he bites at me as I walk past his cage. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, JR.
No. Oh, hey, JR. Oh, look, Mark was here too. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, I'm going to put those up there. We were so engrossed with the smiling dogs, and I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge everybody. Mark, good evening. Ken, good evening. JR, good evening. We are uncovering the many facets, the many, many, many beautiful facets of Victoria. So really excited to have you on here tonight. So other than that, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You said that you also have a business.
Mm-hmm.
So can you share a little bit of, like what got you started and what you do so everyone knows and can get to know you more?
Absolutely. Actually, the last 10 years I spent in banking. I was a banker. I loved what I did. I was good at it. I like to think. It's actually a funny story. I was exposed to new ideas and new people, right? My introduction to these new ideas and these new people came through a networking organization called Master Networks that I mentioned earlier. And this organization exposed things that is not taught in school. It's not taught at home, mainly because your parents don't know any better. Your grandparents don't know. They just know what they know. And we don't know what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to get exposed to these new concepts and these ideas, and I fell in love with them. I like to think that I'm a creative person. I like to think I'm somewhat intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to get exposed to these things, it started to kind of turn some wheels that had never been turned before, which made me a better banker, right?
Sure.
Absolutely made me a better banker. I became obsessed with the idea of small business,
Mm-hmm.
became obsessed with community and people and bonding with people, building on those relationships. That's what Master Networks has taught us. But anyways, through this journey, I went and took a training class. It's called Success School. And my fiance thought at the time that if I went out to Dallas and took this training course, that it would help with my talking gibberish. It would just help with the gibberish talk. That's what it sounded like to him anyway. And then I got back from Dallas after going to this class, and it made things worse.
Really?
Well, for him, not for me. For me, it was better. There was so much exponential growth in that week. And so I got back and I said, "Hey, Joe, I'm putting my 2 weeks in tomorrow." And I thought he might have had like a serious panic attack at that moment. He's like, "What are you talking about? What? Okay, so here's the plan." I mapped that out on my way home on the airplane. And I think he was a little bit nervous, and I had to remind him that with my track history, anytime and every time I said I was going to do something, did I do it? Yes. Well, then don't doubt me now.
Right.
I said I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I don't know how yet, but I'm going to figure it out. And so he said, okay. And then put my 2 weeks in and went all in to LeadShare, which was supposed to be an event planning business, by the way. It started off as that. Mm-hmm. March 9th, right before COVID hit. In fact, 4 days before COVID shut everything down, I went all in.
Wow.
Timing. In fact, I really should write a book about this process. But it was probably the best thing that could have happened. Most business owners will be in business for a while, and before they face like real crisis, of what am I going to do? Could be 5 or 10 years. And then what do they do? Do they pick up and learn and figure it out? I got to learn very quickly in the very beginning of this business. So I realized in this process that I did not have a strong foundation. I was just kind of diving in and hoping to figure it out on the way. So COVID helped me figure out and plan out a foundation. And it helped me learn the essentials of business that no one teaches in school. They don't
Right.
teach kids about finance. They don't teach kids about paying taxes or sales tax or employees, and they don't teach that. So you have to figure it out almost by trial and error. So long story short, we were out of events, but instead I was like, okay, what skills do I have right now that I can still use to generate income? Right?
Mhm.
So I have a background and experience in digital media. I used to do like film production, if you will, and I loved it. It was my thing. Well, I decided to go with photography just because people knew that I could do that, and it was kind of an easy thing to get into. I had experience with it, and I figured, why not? So over the last year, that's what I did. I did photography, and it was so cool. It was fun. It was easy. It didn't feel like going to work.
Yeah.
By the way, I recommend that for everyone. I know it's not possible for everyone if you choose it not to be an option. Not photography, but whatever your thing is.
Sure.
So here we are. And after a year, I'm like, I'm limiting myself and my own success. And I want more, right? And it's okay to want more. I think people are afraid of sounding selfish
Right.
or crazy when they're like, hey, this is not enough for me. I need more. Well, for me personally, I always have to have something to chase. If I'm not chasing, I'm not satisfied. So I need to learn the next thing. I need to experience. You get where I'm going with that.
Sure.
Leadshare, it was evolving constantly. It still is. So just recently, I decided that instead of just doing photography, we're going to expand into a full array of services. I was already answering the questions and spending the time helping people map out marketing strategies. So I was like, well, why not just add this to the business? It doesn't say Leadshare photography, it's Leadshare. So I'm going to add photography. I'm going to add videography because I'm capable and I am able to do that. But what about logos and branding and actual marketing planning, all of the things in one umbrella company? You don't have to go and find the person who specializes in CEO. You don't have to go find the Google My Business person. You don't have to go find someone to do your website. You don't have to find a graphic designer to do all of that. It's all in one place to make it easy and simple for the business owner, because I had that issue as a business owner. I had to go find all of these different things and I didn't know where to go or where to start. You figure it out, but it would be a lot simpler if it was in one spot.
Right. Streamline that process and and maximize those efficiencies. I mean, I'm all for that. I mean, because you can go here, you can go there, and you just and the other thing, with that, having it streamlined is you have one mindset from a perspective of creativity versus, this person has their own idea and they don't know so you have more of a cohesive unit with your brand. So I think that's a great idea. So have you started that, or what's your, you have a target date?
No, it's already begun.
Awesome.
I'm not a very patient person.
I would never have figured that out.
I might be a little sassy and fast. But I do try my best to figure things out as I go along. But I am also that person that will get stuck in the information gathering. So I have to be in motion as I'm gathering information. Otherwise, I get stuck in this place of I need to learn more because I don't know about this. And this is associated or connected to this concept. So I have to figure that out. No, I'm not going to. I'll learn it as I'm actually implementing and taking action.
That's awesome. Do you have, what's your website?
Right now, leadsharestudio.com.
What is it?
Leadsharestudio.com. So LEADSHARE studio, STUDIO.com. And so if you pull it up right now, you'll see a consumer photography website. Well, if you've seen my live earlier today, you know that there's an exciting new announcement coming on Tuesday.
Yeah, on Tuesday. But I was going to ask you about, since you brought it up,
Mhm.
I was going to see if maybe we could get an exclusive little sneak peek possibly of maybe a few more details, because like you, I don't want to wait.
Mhm.
I mean, that was a big teaser. I was like, did she really leave us hanging like that? Well, maybe I can get her to expose
No,
a little
I hate
more.
when people do that to me. It's like, no. Um, that's probably my son knocking at the door. Anyways, um, he'll be okay. Um, I can give you some information. So we just talked about how we're expanding services. It was really important for me to create a space where we have that collective collaborative working together. I find that when people are able to collaborate and share in a safe, creative space,
Mm-hmm.
where magic starts to happen.
Right.
There's something so cool about creative minds working together for a common goal. So that's a little bit of the tip. The rest of it will come on Tuesday.
Okay, that's fair. We got a little bit more information,
Mhm.
and I'm a little more at ease because you were open to give us just
A
a
little,
little tidbit.
there's a little bit. I'll
Just
give you a whole
just
lot
enough.
on Tuesday if you want,
Okay.
but we gotta wait till Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. So I want everyone to know that Victoria's website is leadsharestudio.com. Did I get that correct, Victoria?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Perfect. So leadsharestudio.com. I think that's so amazing because I'm very picky, and I don't like dealing with a lot of people when it comes to, I have to go here for this and here for this and here for this, because all we have is time too, and we want to maximize that time. And I hate that. So if you can get everything under one umbrella and you trust that person, they do quality work, their integrity is there, and there's a connection, because there has to be a connection too, because like we were talking earlier, I want to be able to communicate with you. I want you to be able to see me, hear me, know me, feel me, so that then that is your creative spirit and your creativity that you're going to go and immerse yourself into, making that magic happen for my brand or whatever. You want to have that relationship too, so that it's almost like, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I understand. And then when that's creating that masterpiece, right? And that's you can't teach. Like sometimes you can teach people to sell, but then there's just that natural ability that people just like, you're just drawn to them. It's the same way in that space, being able to connect on that level to a brilliant mind. That's what I'm fascinated with IT people, because I don't like IT. I don't like anything related to it, but I've learned to navigate through it because I have to. But I stay in my lane. I know what I'm really, really good at. But so I'm mesmerized with that. People who are creative like that can create things, that can do videography and just make these. It's like, how I would have never thought to do that, right? And so the fact that they could get in my head and articulate, even if just the few words that we're able to express of what we want, and then come up with something so magnificent, that's fascinating to me.
Absolutely.
And it's a gift. Everybody doesn't have it. I mean, we can do a lot of things because we have the skill set to do it, but that passion and it's not a hobby. It's something that is in us, that it's just our gift. And when you have that, I mean, it sounds like, it's magic for you too.
Well, you know what, Patricia? It's funny because I find everyone has some type of magical power, some kind of superpower that makes them supernatural. Because not everybody is painted the same, right? And it's funny because I like to think of myself as a visionary. I can go in and visualize something, but you know what my weakness is?
What?
I might have the best idea in the world, but I don't know how to get the idea from being just an idea to an actual physical thing. So what does that mean? That means I have to work with people who can help bring my vision into reality. And that goes for anyone. If you have the skill of saying, okay, what are you trying to create here? right?
Yeah.
Not in I'm not creative enough to think of it myself, but I can create it if you give me the idea. There's people like that. And when we learn how to work with each other,
exactly,
and spend 80% of our time and our skill set where we thrive, the world would be just a better place.
It seems really simple. That logic seems really simple, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
I have my own ideas of why that doesn't always work out that way, but I know you're a deep thinker, so I would like
Share
your
it.
thoughts on that.
Yes. Tell me.
I want your thoughts on it.
Why do I think people don't spend their time where they feel happiest? I think there are several different circumstances that could affect that. So let's figure this out.
Okay.
I think one part of that is society. Again, the way you're taught or raised. It's not, hey, I want you to be happy in life and do something that fills your cup. It's, hey, you need to provide. You need to survive. You need to do this. You need to do that. Your parents typically teach you what they know and then tell you to do better than they did. Right? So that's one part of it. I'll give you an example, my own personal example. I was doing what I loved. And then at 19, I found out that I was pregnant and everything changed. At that moment, I was no longer this free spirit that was able to go and, figure it out and enjoy the process. I was responsible for another life. And so to me, I had to make sure that I did the things to make sure that he was taken care of because it was no longer just me.
Right.
So I made that sacrifice, and it took me 8 years to come back around into doing things that filled my cup. So that happens too. It's just life circumstances. It's the choices that you make. But so we have society, the way you were brought up and taught. And then you just have circumstances where you do what you have to survive. And sometimes it's not for yourself, it's for someone that you love. And then there's another thing, something else that I've experienced. I find that a lot of people project their fears onto others. This is huge.
It is.
Do they project their fears onto you? There are some that as they're projecting their fears, to them it's, I don't want this person to look better than me or excel past me, because then they're going to make me look bad, right? I don't want that. I'm right. Look good. They're going to make me look bad. That's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in the box. And when they try to leave that box, I'm going to make them question themselves and doubt themselves because they can't look better than me, right? So we have this constantly, and I know this is going to sound terrible, but women do it a lot.
I just had this conversation today with another person, so you're on to something. Continue. This is massive. So pay attention, guys that are out there listening. Pay attention to this. It's key.
Yeah. So I think that women do this more often than men. Now, there's always a gray area in certain places, but I don't know what it is about women that we compare ourselves to others. And not in the good way. Not like, Patricia, you glow on camera. You look beautiful. It's, oh, Patricia's lips are phenomenal. My lips are not as pretty or as voluptuous as lips. Like, now I'm feeling insecure. So what do I do to make myself feel better? I project that negativity back outward. So now Patricia feels bad about herself, so I can feel better about myself. I find women do that constantly. And it's so crazy. I think a lot of it has to do with social media. We only see the best of people on social media. So it's very easy to compare someone's best to their worst.
Right.
It is what it is. And I think it's society too. I think it's society. We're taught this is what's pretty. This is what's ladylike. This is what makes you look normal and a part of society. If you're outside of these lines, it's taboo.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's not cute. I mean, yesterday when we were in the Grow Live, I may have said something that most women would not say.
Yeah, that came up with Theodora. Ken actually kind of brought that up and went from a PG broadcast to it was fine. We were just joking in it, but it was funny. It was funny.
But you know what's funny too about that? If that was a man saying that, it would have been like, oh, ha ha ha. Okay. But because I'm a small little petite woman and I said it, it was like, oh my God, did she really just say that?
I was sitting here and I was just like, this is great. Because you know what I admire is a woman who's not afraid to speak their mind and just to be, this is who I am. This is who you are. Right. So there's not a set way. I mean, we've been taught that there's this set way and we can't go outside the norm, especially if you're in a room or even in a, like in the mastermind with predominantly men. That's something that, oh my God, you shouldn't have said that. Well, why shouldn't I have said that? I can stand up with the best of them, right? And yeah. I'm just being who I am. That's the authenticity. That's the rawness of it. Ken, exactly. Ken's going to just put it out there for us.
It happened. It's fine. It's a word. It's okay. That is, how do I say that? We're talking about women and just in society in general. I say a lot of things that makes people's eyes get a little bit big, like, wait, what? And that's okay. But we talk about authenticity, like, that is like the new, leather jacket, right? That's the flavor of, hey, it's cool to be authentic, but how authentic are you really? Mm-hmm. Are you the same person when the cameras are off? Are you the same person when nobody's watching? Right?
Exactly.
How authentic are you really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's funny to me because you'll hear that, like, oh, authenticity, it's the cool flavor of the month, until someone else gets. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to choose not to say that, anyways. But that's the thing. How authentic are you really?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that's always annoyed me, I guess, with women is, I can't be you. You can't be me. Right. And even I'm going to use business as an example. Right. So you know how to do something. I know how to do something. I think you do it very well. And I have found over the years that there's been very few, and I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, because it's happened more often, not as often as I would like to, but women that are confident enough with themselves and has that self, I'm not intimidated by another woman. I'm going to empower that woman because I love that she has that tenacity to come to me with her ideas. She also has that tenacity to say, no, we're not going to do that, but hey, this is what we can do. Right. And then have the ability just to say, no, it's not that we can't do something right now, but maybe later, because this is not aligning with what I'm doing. Or if you compliment a woman, I can't tell you over the years how many times I've complimented a woman and then they think that you have some type of an agenda or something. And I'm like, I really do like that dress. I mean, so, okay, how about this? You look ugly. Well, you shouldn't have said that. Okay, well, but you didn't want me to compliment you either. So where do we stand now? Right. And so it's teaching by repetitive exposure, and them getting used to it, because they're not used to it. It's outside the norm. It's not considered. We've been pre-programmed, or women have been pre-programmed to be suspect if another woman compliments them on something or admires your work, with TheLeadShareStudio.com. Well, how did you get that? Oh, well, you were doing and they start going down this stupid path that makes no freaking sense. And then because you have the kahunas to just say, you know what, knock it off, because I just can't deal with a person like you. And when you get it together, then we'll do something. But until then, you're too immature. I just can't deal with you, right? That's not something that is being rash. It's just setting those boundaries that, no, there's people out there, there's women out there that truly want what's best for other women. And, that's been my desire, is to love on women, to encourage them, to compliment them, so that they know that there's at least one person. I feel you're that same type of person that generally just wants to make sure that that, hey, I'm here and we can work together if it's in alignment for us to work together. But going off on these other tangents and things, I just think it's just absolutely ridiculous. And it's, when they talk about like generational curses, for lack of a better word right now, in family, you have to cut those cords, right? And it's the same way with us. I think that we just have to just continue on our path to keep encouraging women and keep letting them know that, it's okay to be okay, to like you and to understand you and to show you love. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with letting you know that. It's really an interesting, it's an interesting dynamic that we get sidetracked. Louise Hay, I know you like to read. Are you familiar with Louise Hay's work?
No.
Well, she has several things. One of the books is You Can Heal Your Life by her. And another one is, it's a exercise. It's a book. It's called Mirror Work. So, when people are projecting things, one thing I learned early on is that I pretend that I'm in a spaceship and that there's mirrors, right? And so instead of the mirrors facing me, I have them facing outward. That's what I imagine and envision, because if they're trying to project that negative stuff like you were referring to earlier, it's projecting right back at them because they're looking at themselves. Right. I'm not going to allow them to permeate into my capsule, my spaceship. But one of the things Louise Hay has is it's called the mirror work. And basically it is activities. It's a set period of time that you go through each chapter, and there's an affirmation. She talks about that particular whatever, if it's confidence. And then you have to look in that mirror and say these affirmations. You have to look at yourself and say that for, I think it's 21 days, 21-day mirror work. But it's really a powerful, powerful activity. If you do it, you have to do it. You can't just, say, oh, that's cool. And if you really go in, it's like, no, I really want to do better. I really want to be that woman that is going to break that bondage of that it has to be this way. And Victoria can't be who she says she's going to be. She can't say what she said without some judgment or whatever. It's really a very powerful exercise if people would really take the time to dig into it and be open to that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to actually go and buy her book and do that. So I appreciate you sharing that. And that's something that I would love to share with some of the people in my circle. So I appreciate that. But, going back to what you were talking about with women, like how cool would it be to have and to be able to just lock arms together and say, hey, let's do this.
I know.
Let's support each other. Let's figure it out, but have a level of mutual respect to know that if I say no, it's not because I want to hurt you. It's because it's not the right path for me right now.
Right.
But I still support you.
Exactly.
That's not rejection. That's still a level of respect there. It's just not right for me right now.
Exactly.
That's I think a huge misconception too. People think of the word no as rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, no is just, okay, that's not right now.
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just
Absolutely.
now. That's not a definite thing.
Right.
So there's that. But it would be so great if we could have just a community of women that would just support each other and be encouraging and empower each other to be
Mhm.
authentic and to be supportive.
Yeah, that's a dream of mine. That's one of the things that I've really been drawn to over the course of my life is, I mean, I've had to, kind of not really put it on the back burner, but uh, I come into contact with women that are open to that. It's been good, and I have a good community with that. But it's too small, right? Because we should have 100% alignment with that. And even if you're fearful over something, well, it's okay to be fearful. Then that's what we're here for, to reach out, like with the Facebook live, we were talking about, last night. And the thing, I was sitting here thinking, I don't say a whole lot, but I absorb everything that goes on. And I'm an astute listener and an observer. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, after this is over, I'm going to reach out and let them know that if they want me to come on with them, or if they just need, just an encouragement, a text or whatever, just to let them know I'm available. They may say no, but that's the part of the vulnerability. That's just a chance that you have to take. But you still, by me saying that, or you saying that, it's still letting them know that, well, somebody at least cared. They at least offered, right? So they can't say that they never had somebody that wanted to support them, or even if it's just as something as a simple text message, whatever that is. I just feel that we're living in a time where we need each other more than ever. In business, as women, we need each other more than ever, and to lock arms, in order to encourage and uplift in whatever space that we need. YourLeadShareStudio.com. What type of client are you looking for? It's not about you may get more business than me, because guess what? You're going to attract people that I could never attract, and vice versa. So I've never believed in this whole competition thing. I don't know if you've heard a story that I've told. It was one of my bosses when I first started out, and he brought me in his office, and it was a commission check, and basically I didn't understand the comp plan, and he took basically in a nutshell said that if I ever came back into his office, he had to explain that to me again, that I didn't deserve to be on his team. But more importantly, he was in his office, and it was a gorgeous office, and he told me to look outside. He's like, "What do you see?" And it was the sky. And he said, "It's unending. Your blessings are unending. The competition, you can't compete with somebody because your goals are not my goals. So what if you're saying, okay, I'm going to compete with Victoria, but Victoria only wanted to have 5 leads, but your goal, if you had it written down on a sheet of paper, was 12. You've already lowered your standard thinking that you're competing with Victoria." So, and I know that in sales, it's the whole thing, oh, it's friendly competition. I get it. But when you take it deeper, go deeper than that, though, there's really not any competition, because I'm not you, you're not me. So we have our own unique skill sets and inner beauty that we bring to humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that, or what's your thoughts?
No, absolutely. I think if we're able to embrace that a little bit more and stop the competition, it's so sad, because there's lots of friends that I'll have, and they're like, "Oh, Victoria, you're doing this, and you're doing this. Why are you focused on what I'm doing? Tell me I want to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
How are you growing? How are you doing better?
Exactly.
How can I help you? How about you tell me how I can help you?"
Exactly.
It's not a comparison here. It's your story, your narrative. If you don't like your narrative, the only person that can change it is you. Yeah.
Exactly. Where's it at?
Aw.
It only takes one person to change your life, and that's you. Right?
Yes.
Theodora's on. Good evening. She says, "You're amazing women. You're amazing women. I love you." We love you too.
So much. So good.
And I think that I don't think, I feel that one of the things that I really like about, and I'm not just talking about just masterminds for the sake of just, you got mastermind hoppers, you got social media hoppers, you've got clubhouse hoppers, and then if they don't get what they want from one, they just hop to another, and not really trying to develop a relationship or, implement what we're talking about, with women and building those relationships. And I think that having those intimate settings as they grow, those masterminds grow and getting to know people, I think that's a really good place to start bridging that gap, right? And providing that bridge to walk across that bridge together, not just, oh, there's the bridge. Isn't it nice? Look at that good scenery on the other side. No, let's do this together.
That's right. Well, you know why? We already have something in common. We're in the same place learning the same thing.
Yes.
We already have a connection and we didn't
Yes.
have to figure it out.
Exactly.
It's there. Now we just need to
Exactly.
explore and build on that.
Exactly. And build on it from a perspective of truly, how can I help you? I really want to help. There's no agenda. There's no ulterior motives other than I see a beautiful human being who goes deep in these conversations. I always know that when there's guests on there, or even if there's not a guest in the mastermind, that when you open your mouth, that it's going to be something that is profound and that is going to make all of us think, right? Because sometimes what I have learned for myself, that I'm the voice for other people that can't speak. You are the voice for other people who can't speak. You ask those questions, those deep questions that other people, they want to, but they have not quite geared up to have that confidence to do that. And so by you doing that, me doing that, and each one of us taking that active role to be able to say those things, because we are outspoken and we are driven and not afraid, they're still taking all of that in. And how do we know that we're not impacting them, that then the next time, that even if they ask one question, you could have been the reason that they were able to ask that question. They may not be able to go as deep as you go, but the fact that they just took that step and conquered that fear to say, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to go ahead and ask that question.
It's growth.
That's huge.
It's growth. That's what we need to surround ourselves with. People who inspire us to take a little step further. Doesn't have to be a race. It's not a race. It's what can I do to better myself now or tomorrow or the next day. And when you surround yourself with people who do things that make you, I like that. Or, oh, wow, I didn't even think of that, but I just learned something new.
Exactly.
And that's why I love masterminds as well. When we're in a place and we're learning together. And sometimes it could be something that you've covered already. It was just a new way that it was presented to you that just clicked differently, or you got something different from a message that you've heard before, whatever the case may be, or you're learning something completely new. One, make sure that you're completely open and present in that moment. But you're right. At the end of the moment of where we're learning, and there's a time where you can ask questions. Ask the question. It does not hurt. And I really believe there's no stupid questions, because I ask plenty of them. Don't think all of my questions are profound, because they're not. Sometimes they're really not. And that's okay. But at the same time, I'm still learning something.
Correct.
And sometimes a silly question is a matter of watching how you respond to the question. That's it. It's because I find a lot of times when we're in the role of being a leader and projecting the certain image that we have to be polished,
Yes.
That's just the word. You know, we have to be polished. We have to be what people think we should be, right? We lose that authenticity because we've practiced this story and this spiel that we have to stick to because that's the character that we're playing. Well, sometimes you get hit with a question that you did not rehearse.
Right.
Or sometimes you get hit with a question that genuinely makes you question or in awe, like, wow, no one has asked me that question before. It makes you think and kind of it's just a really cool process to see. And
Yeah.
then meanwhile, we're both learning at this point. So not only did you teach something, but you learned something about yourself.
100%.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I love having these types of conversations because some people, they're afraid to even approach the topic because people get so defensive. And then you have, the passive aggressive people that are out there, that they just take offense to everything. And you're really missing out on the essence of life, of communication and learning more about that other person. I always love different cultures, because there's so much depth there, right? That we can learn from how they implement, whether it's raising children or whether it's in business, the things that they are able to do. It's really amazing. And if we can't be open to that, I mean, what are we here for?
It's funny. I find that most people, like myself, my whole world is my reality. It's just my reality. Doesn't make it real. It's my perception of how I see things.
Yeah.
If I'm colorblind, I may not see blue the same color you see blue, right?
Yeah.
So I find most people get stuck in their own reality. They don't realize that the person that they're talking to has a different perspective and a different outlook and a different experience on things, a different everything.
Right.
Someone different experiencing maybe the same situation you are, but they interpret it differently. And so being open to maybe someone else's perspective is so powerful because you will learn something about that person, right? And then not only will you learn something about that person, but you may even just bond with them and create a lifelong relationship with someone simply because you took the time to be open and understand. Now, if I'm stuck in my reality, right, and sometimes this happens, I'll be the first person to admit I'm no master in anything. I have my flaws, lots of them. I think the difference is I embrace most of my flaws. So that's okay. That's okay. But there are times where I get stuck in my own world, my own reality, and I close or isolate because I'm busy, right? Not productive, but busy. I have all the things, we wear so many hats, especially as women, especially if you have kids, I'm a dog mom, I'm a mom, I'm a chef, I'm a maid, I'm not a very good maid. I'll be honest with that. Dish is not my favorite. But you wear all of these hats and then you're a business owner. So not only are you a business owner, but you're an accountant, right?
Yeah.
You're a salesperson, you're a marketer, you're doing all of these different things. And sometimes it's very easy to get wrapped up in your own reality. Good way to get out of that. On a really pretty night, go outside and look up.
Yeah.
You are simply just a star.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful star. But look at the other stars around it. It's so much bigger. It is so much bigger than just one star. Otherwise, the sky would be pretty dark, right?
Yeah.
In fact, it's a funny story. My fiance grew up in the city, so they didn't really see stars at all at night. I mean, there was like nothing. So I got him out in the boondocks, the gators, lay eggs and stuff, whatever. And the first week that he was out here, he woke me up out of a dead sleep. It was like 2:00 in the morning. So I'm livid because, I need my beauty sleep. But I woke up and I was scared because I thought something was wrong. He's like, Victoria, wake up. And like he ran outside, and I was like, oh my God, something must be wrong. So I go run outside, and he's just standing there looking up. And I was like, is everything okay? He goes, it's like diamonds in the sky.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'm angry, by the way, because he just woke me up. But when he said it, I was like, oh, wow. I looked up and I had to actually take in that moment with him because I realized in that moment he's never seen stars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now
That's
it's just
amazing.
because I said so. Kidding. But occasionally I'll throw that at him and he's like, shut up. You know,
Wow.
beautiful moment. But again, when we get wrapped up, just go look at the sky. How dull would that sky be without multiple stars, not just one?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that you bring that up because I'm all about ambiance and reflections. And so in my office, I have this. You know, you can get it on Amazon, but they're these little strobe lights that have stars or moon or whatever. You know, and so I have it on now, and you can't see it here, but there's literally stars all over, and I have it on the twinkling thing because sometimes after you've had a long day, I can just sit and read and then close that book and just look up at that ceiling and be reminded just of the beauty and the ambiance of the light. And we are light, right? And the stars. And then so even in the ceiling, and I'm not outside, but you know, I just visually, I can just imagine like, I see this one twinkling, but this one is way over here, and this one's brighter, and this one's smaller. That's us as a universe, right? All of the different varieties. Some shine brighter, but it doesn't mean that you're not light,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're just at different phases. This one has grown more. This one's been in more masterminds than maybe this one. They're just now starting out, and we're cultivating that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that analogy of that because that's and it's endless too. I mean, where does it stop? When you look, it goes on forever, right?
Forever. It's pretty powerful. It's kind of like the circle of life.
It's a cycle of life.
You know, we cue in never mind, does it? I'm a 90s baby, by the way, so I make a lot of Disney references. Just because it doesn't matter.
Hakuna Matata.
Exactly.
Hakuna Matata.
You know, go back to something that you had mentioned earlier about the negativity that people bring up. And the reason why I want to go back to that is because I actually had that conversation today. I can tend to be very direct.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to work on that. Not really.
Don't just continue to be you, Victoria. It's lovely.
I appreciate that. I think I'm going to do that. Effort and energy to try and do something else. And I kind of like who I am. I'm happy with.
Don't kinda. You like who you are.
I do. But anyways, we were having that conversation today. Someone called me, and it was just like this roller coaster of consistent negativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge empath, so I can walk into a room and literally be exhausted by the time I leave because I do feel and absorb just everything. So if we're in a great, happy atmosphere, I'm great and happy. But if we're in a dark place with people that are feeling pretty low, I just take it all in. And sometimes it hurts, right? It's mentally exhausting. So over the last week, I had an amazing week. And when you're like on cloud 9 and things are just pumping, it's contagious. When you project great energy and vibes,
yeah,
it is contagious.
100%.
Wants to give it back to you, it will give it back to you. So this past week, I'm upbeat and I'm happy and great things are happening. And I feel like the more I'm in a great mood, the more the universe wants to give it back to me and keep me there, right?
Yeah.
We absorb other people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
More so women than I think men, but we absorb it and then we take it on and now it's our baggage. I've decided I'm not doing that anymore. I can't. It just weighs me down. And I was like, on this high, and then I talk to this person, and I can literally feel it doing this. So, I want to say that I do believe that vibe and that energy is very contagious. Okay, so make sure that you're projecting how you want people to feel after they've been impacted by you. And then also don't be afraid to cut that negativity off in a respectful manner, obviously. Like, I'm sorry you're in this low place, but let's talk about a solution to get you going back in the positive, right? Otherwise, let's just end the conversation now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dwell here with you. So
I was looking for a saying, or I'm trying to find it here. And basically it's just saying, I am not available for any type of influence that's going to lead me away from my light.
Yes, I love that. Oh man. Yeah, don't dim your light. You can see it too. You can see it. You can see it when someone's not having a great day. It's like, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? You want to talk about it? No, don't dim your light. Everything is temporary.
Everything is temporary.
Especially bad things are so temporary. But it's okay to go through that crisis for yourself, but don't project it onto someone else. Don't make that someone else's baggage unless you're looking for ideas on a solution.
Correct.
If it's not, hey, this is the problem, let's figure how to solve it. Don't have the conversation. Just go take a nap, sleep.
Go do something, but figure it out.
Nope. I had that conversation today, and the person actually was offended, but he knows my heart. He came back around. He's like, you're right. You're right. I was in a really low negative place, and I wanted you to be there with me. And that's not fair. And after you kind of called me out on that, I went through this motion of, oh, well, she doesn't care about me, or she doesn't, I can't communicate to her. But after I started to check myself, I came out of it, and you're right.
But even with that it's deeper than that. I mean, if they really want to, I'm just talking in general, anyone, you keeping your boundary triggered something in them that had nothing to do with you, that also has to do with their experiences. But most people don't want to open up that door of clutter because it hurts too much. It's too deep. They don't want to acknowledge it. And if you don't have anybody to help process that and help to facilitate you through those emotions, because it is a process, sometimes you're going to have to stay with that for a minute, and you're going to have to really, whether you journal or whatever, you have to figure that out before you can move forward, because the same things are going to happen just with different people and different circumstances if you don't figure that out and move forward.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get stuck in that story. And then it goes on replay and you just dwell there. That's miserable. Why do you not be? Right? Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. The title of this was, I said, always celebrate you. And I think this is in alignment with just women empowerment, being there for people. We need to always celebrate ourselves. I need to celebrate myself. You need to celebrate yourself, but we also need to celebrate each other. But, and I think, holding each other accountable for that too, hey, it's okay. Oh, here, hi, Angie. I haven't seen or heard from Angie in a long, long time. It's good to see you on. She is Victoria. You would love Angie. You talk about a woman of empowerment and philosophical discussions. She can take it to a whole nother level. And so it's really good to see. She says, yep, or you would just protect the energy to others, how one feels at the moment.
Absolutely.
So yeah, very powerful. So yeah, and it's, we don't have, if once we figure out we don't have to do this alone, and be okay with being vulnerable. Like, I'm a very private person, I've said that before, and I don't share a whole lot of life circumstances that's happened or anything. But even like last night, I wanted to speak up earlier in our mastermind, and I'm like, oh no, I probably shouldn't. And then I finally am like, no, I have to walk the walk, and I'm always, giving this advice. So if I really mean that, then I need to just speak up. I need to be vulnerable and just say, okay, if it's received, great, but they need to know that I'm here for them. They need to know that they're not alone, and they need to know that it can be a challenge, but I've been doing it because I made that commitment to myself. And so I just wanted to be that encourager to let you know that you can do it too. So I have to then, look within and say, well, are you going to do it, or are you just talking just to be talking? Well, no, I'm not. I really meant it, so that vulnerability and being okay with being vulnerable at a level where most people don't want to go to is really, I think, one of the most beautiful things that we can do for each other and help one another, experience that vulnerability, whether it's crying, hugging, whatever, or just sometimes just sitting in silence. And just, you don't have to say anything, but you just know that, hey, they're there. You don't have to say anything, but that is so powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful. And what's great about it too? Being able to use your voice.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but there's no one keeping this mouth shut. When I have a question, I'm asking my question. I can't move forward. Like, I'm stuck here until we get past this together. And then, when I feel like something's important enough to say, I'm going to say it. And it's not just for me.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that there's someone else in that room that was thinking it. They just could not say it.
Couldn't say it. Exactly.
And I don't know about you, but have you ever been silenced?
There's been several attempts, but it didn't work out well.
I remember being silenced a lot as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't say that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't say that. That might hurt someone's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's inappropriate. And it's an adult's way of saying, hey, conform.
Mm-hmm.
Be quiet. You're supposed to be a good child. Quiet,
Right.
Still, sit there and look pretty.
Right.
How infuriating is that?
I know. Yeah.
There's a balance in life. And I mean, have you ever felt out of balance?
Yes. Many times.
How do you know? What are the feelings that you have to where it's like, okay, I'm out of balance. I need to check myself. I need to get back in a balanced place.
Well, I know when I'm out of balance when, like, my body gets out of whack. Like, I start feeling it physically. It starts taking effect physically. Like my head will start hurting, or I'll have like a small, like my shoulders get really like so tight that I can hardly like move. And I'm like, so what is this about? Well, I haven't taken time to meditate. I haven't taken my time to read. I haven't taken my walk. I haven't spent just time with myself. I may have not, the goals that I had set for the week, maybe I didn't do anything, right? So I'm out of balance, but I always know when I'm out of balance.
Yeah.
And it's just getting back into alignment with who we are. And then sometimes, just being around people, especially like with customers that we deal with, all of them aren't positive. So what it's taught me now is to be very intentional of what client I'm looking for. I want happy people, positive people, not that they have to be perfect, but I do not want to put out there where it's people just to say that you got business, just to get business, because that also affects me being in balance with myself and in alignment, because that negative energy and just that, I just don't want to be around that. So I have learned to be more intentional now on exactly what I want and be crystal clear so that I'm attracting those people that are wanting my energy too, to encourage them or whatever they need, but not the whole just I'm going to pull you down because I don't like happy people. You're too happy for me.
That happens, you know.
Yeah.
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 I used to have an old boss that was really, really grumpy all the time. It was just his personality. Like, there was nothing wrong with him. And we discussed this is why I did ask. Anyways, so I remember telling him, you know what? Before I leave here, you are going to smile. And in fact, it's going to get to a point that every time you see me, I'm going to bring a smile to your face. And do you know he started smiling on a daily basis? It took about a month, but
That's great.
It's contagious.
That's great.
No, but as far as feeling out of balance, like that was something I had to learn the hard way. We're talking about protecting energy and vibes and all of that stuff. And like those roles that we forget to take care of ourselves, because I think women put others first. I mean, we do that too, some, but I think it's more predominant in our nurturing personality and characteristics as a female to put others first. So when we forget ourselves and we stop doing the bubble bath and we stop doing the smell goods and we stop doing the hair and all the things that make us feel at peace, right? We can throw ourselves out of balance. We stop journaling, stop walking, stop drinking the tea, that funny tea. It tastes funny, but it's good and it makes my soul come alive. But me personally, I get angry. Have you ever inside felt just angry and you don't know why? You don't know why. You're just angry, like slamming things because it feels good to make a loud noise. And there's anxiety and there's something off, right? You can't put your finger on it. And then next thing you know, your vibe, you're fussing at your kid for being a kid. Right. You're fussing at a 9-year-old for being a 9-year-old. Are you kidding me? I mean, I do this.
Yeah.
This is why, you know.
Yeah.
And knowing when you're out of balance and being able to check that. Check it. What do I need to do? Well, here we go. Absolutely, Angela. We are going to be friends. No, you're right. This is a daily practice. And if you're not doing it daily, you're going to burn out. You're going to get to that point where you're not happy. And it's so important to protect that. So whatever it means to you to do that on a daily basis is so huge, because balance is so important. And we're talking about projecting energy and good vibes. Well, if you're out of balance, you're not projecting good energy or vibes.
Right.
You're just not. So keep that in mind.
I think I really am enjoying being able to have this conversation, because I love intellectual stimulation and being able to express your thoughts and get different perspectives. I think that's just the highest level of elevation, you know? So I really appreciate you coming and bringing everything.
Oh, thank you.
Being Victoria.
Being here. Honey, I need to get your light, your camera, whatever you got going on there. I need some of that. You look like an angel. I'm so serious. You need to get some wings.
Well, okay. So, all right. Metaphorically, though, I am transforming. So I'm coming out of my cocoon and I'm letting my wings fly. So I am getting my set of wings.
Tell me, what does that mean exactly? So,
well, I can't tell you. That was my tease for you. So more to come.
Anger. Okay, just a nibble.
Okay, just a nibble. There's gonna just a nibble. Let's see. How do I put this? Okay, so very soon you will be able to participate in something that I think that you will enjoy.
I'll take the nibble. I'm excited about that. So that's much better. That's a much okay. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. So when are you going to release the information? So this is
Well,
the
it won't
accountability.
be Tuesday. It won't be Tuesday because
Okay.
yours is Tuesday. So I can't do it Tuesday because I want your light to shine. I want you to have that moment.
Oh no, honey. We can do it at the same
But
time.
it's going to be really soon. It's going to be soon.
Going to be soon.
It's going to be really soon. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll follow up with you on Wednesday about it. How about that?
I know you will.
Uh-huh. Maybe we'll do another interview and I'll get a little bit more information.
No, it's really exciting. So here's what I would like to do if you're open to it. So
Yeah.
Tuesday, I mean, I know you're going to do your own announcement and all of that, but I do want to come back and us discuss it because I think that everyone will enjoy it.
I think so. And it will kind of be a continuation of this conversation, but
Yes.
in more depth.
Yeah.
So, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it Tuesday. Send me the information and we'll get it set up.
Tuesday. So we have a date Tuesday.
We have a date Tuesday.
Okay. So it will have to be later because I have a obligation at 7:00 on Tuesday.
Because Tuesday is going to be a crazy day.
Okay. So if we can do it around 9ish, is that too late?
No, that's perfect.
Okay. So I'll put you on the calendar for 9:00 that we will have a continuation of celebrating you and the power of women and just, I know, right?
I'm so excited.
How sweet is that?
All good things. All good things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I truly, honestly, Victoria, it's been a pleasure. I am really enjoying just getting to know you. And I love your spirit. I love that philosophical heart that you have and that deep thinking that you have. I love it. So at Woman to Woman, I honor you and I'm just really grateful. Keep up the great work. And everyone, don't forget to, her website is leadsharestudio.com. So I have that on the ticker there. So go check that out because she's doing some amazing things and she's going to be integrating everything where you only have to go to one place, which is amazing. Streamline your processes. And as you can see, Victoria is an amazing, brilliant mind who is open, is caring, loving. So that's going to go into the work that she does for you too. So it'd be a great, wonderful experience and one that you won't forget. So I'm happy. I'm happy for you.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great evening. I'm going to end the broadcast and then just stay on real quick and we'll chat. So happy Friday evening, everyone. It's 10:23. Victoria, I'm just looking. Do you know we went an hour and 22 minutes?
This happens quite often. The good news is that nobody cried. So I appreciate that.
It's okay.
Believe it or not, that happens quite often.
Well, and it still might. We are just getting started.
Love that.
So, okay, guys, have a good evening. It's Friday evening. Have a good Saturday. Have a good Sunday. I don't know what the weather is going to be like where you're at and where you're watching from, but enjoy it, whether it's sunny, cloudy, or whatever. Look up at that beautiful sky and know that you are the light. And we will talk to you soon. Make sure that you tune in Tuesday because we will be back with Victoria on Tuesday, and I can't wait. So have a good weekend. Love you all.